crew. My name is Josh, and I am David and Barb Wagler's son. We're sitting over there, at least my dad is. Now this past week, I had to learn a hard lesson. It wasn't one I wanted to learn, it was one I needed to learn. And it was a lesson on using my time wisely and how I use my time. And the lesson I learned is that when I don't use my time wisely, I live with regret and disappointment. So tonight, I want to share with you what I have learned about using our time wisely. In speech class, we were taught that when you pick a topic you'd like to talk about, you ask 2 questions about that topic. The first one is, why? The second one is, how? And I would like to answer those 2 questions tonight for you guys. The first one is, why should we use our time wisely? And I've come up with a reason. It's not the reason, but it is a reason. And what I've come up with is our time is limited. So this week, at the end of this week, I was supposed to finish a Spanish course to get an academic diploma. Now, I didn't finish that course by the end of this week. And last night at midnight, I messaged Arlen and said, Arlen, I didn't finish my Spanish course. Let's just do a general diploma. So there's like levels, there's a vocational and a general and an academic. And each one you have to do a little bit more to get the highest one. And I needed that foreign language, that Spanish, to get my academic diploma. So I messaged Arlen and said, Arlen, I'm just going to do a general diploma. I'm sorry, I know I was going to get an academic. And he was like, no, it's already in the case. We'll just give you an academic, but you just have to just get it done by the end of next week or something like that. So thank you, Arlen, very much for that. I appreciate you. That's why you're my favorite high school teacher. So I really appreciate it. Now, I wasn't the only one that had to learn this lesson. In the Bible, there were some people that did too, and I want to share 2 stories with you tonight of people who had limited time and didn't use their time wisely, and they got some bad results. And then I want to share one story with a happy ending of people that used their time wisely. So the first one is when Noah was building the ark. There was limited time until a flood was going to come. It was going to cover the whole earth. But people outside Noah's family decided it's going to be okay, it's not going to happen. But it did happen. And they didn't get on the ark in time, and so they all perished. The second story is the story of the 10 virgins. Now there were 10 virgins that were waiting for a bridegroom party to come, and 5 of them had brought extra oil, in case it gets a little bit late, we need some more oil, or lamps are going to burn out. And then there were 5 of them like, nah, we don't need extra, it'll be good. They're going to come early, it'll be fine. So they went to sleep, they were waiting, and they woke up. And 5 of them still had oil, and their lamps were burning down. And then 5 others were like, oh shoot, we don't have oil. What are we going to do? The 5 were like, go to town quick, go get some, and then come back. And when you come back, they'll be here, and you can still come in with us. But as we know, when they came back, the party wasn't there. They went in the house, and the door was closed, and they couldn't get in, and so they couldn't be part of the wedding. Now, my last story has a happy ending, and that is the story of Jonah and the people of Nineveh. Now, Jonah went to Nineveh. And he's like, okay, repent. God's going to destroy your city. He's going to burn it up. And I kind of want it to happen, but, it's okay. So the king was like, he heard about it. He's like, God, repent. So our city doesn't burn up. So we got a nice city. We don't want it to burn up. So they repented, and God spared the city, much to Noah's disappointment. So time is limited. The second question is, how can we use our time wisely? And I have 3 things to follow that will help you use your time wisely. The first one is to prioritize. I want you to ask this question when you prioritize: what needs to be done first? Remember, you number your goals in order from most important to least important, not easiest to hardest. Prioritizing is not what you want to do first, it's what needs to be done first. Jim Rohn says either you run the day or the day runs you. And I say if the day runs you, at the end of the day, you're going to be tired. You're going to be worn out. You're going to be stressed. So don't let the day run you. The second one is to eliminate distractions. An anonymous author said focus comes from eliminating distractions. If you want to be focused, you have to eliminate distractions. I was working in the shop a couple years back. I was working at our trim machine, and my phone rang. So, I got a message. It's like getting a Christmas present. Let's check it out. Let's see what we got. So I sat on my phone for like 10 minutes because I had a message front bag and a little conversation. And Dad walked out. He walked over and he said, Josh, did you know that every time you pick up your phone to check your message, it's going to take you 20 minutes to get refocused on what you were doing? I was like, wow, that's the power of distractions. It takes you off of your focus. Ephesians 5:15-16 says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time at hand, because the days are evil. Satan is constantly trying to distract us. He's trying to distract us from God, from sharing Christ with others, to being a light, an influence, and a leader to other people in the world. You have to stay focused, but you have to remember where your help comes from. Our help comes from the Lord, and He is the one that is ultimately able to help us overcome the wicked one. Christopher Columbus said, by prevailing over all obstacles and distractions, one may unfailingly arrive at his chosen destination. Number 3 is act. An Irish proverb says, you'll never plow the field by turning it over in your mind. It's very true. You farmers know this. You got to get in the tractor. You got to go plow the field. You can't sit on the living room couch and just sit there. Yeah, that tractor's going. You're never going to get anywhere just by thinking about something. There's an acronym for ACT that goes, action changes things. Planning doesn't change anything. Planning gives you a direction. Action is what changes something. Tony Robbins said, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only potential power. Action is power. When a spaceship is ready to launch, it has everything it needs to go into space. Engineers have planned for, equipped the spaceship with everything it needs for the spaceship and its crew to get up to space. But in order to get to space, the engineers have to take action and they have to launch it up into the air. Planning and prioritizing gives you a well-equipped spaceship. It gives you everything you need. You have a direction. You know where you're going. You're equipped. You're ready. But action is going to give you the flight of a lifetime. In closing, I want to share a quote with you and a challenge. The quote is, work is hard, distractions are plentiful, and time is short. My question to you is, what will you do with that time? Thank you.